Did you know that an estimated 1 in 4 adults worldwide has a condition called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? That's a staggering number, and what's even more shocking is that many people don't even know they have it. This isn't some rare, exotic illness. It's a silent epidemic that's growing. And the scary part is, it's often linked directly to the foods we eat every single day. We think we're making harmless choices, grabbing a quick snack or a convenient meal. But behind the scenes, these choices could be putting immense stress on one of our body's most vital organs. Your liver is a powerhouse. It filters toxins, aids digestion, regulates blood sugar. It performs over 500 essential functions. But just like any hardworking machine, it can be overwhelmed and damaged. Many of the common foods you'll find in your pantry or fridge contain ingredients that, over time, can lead to inflammation, fat buildup, and even permanent scarring of the liver, a condition known as cirrhosis. The damage happens slowly, silently, often without any obvious symptoms until it's very serious. It's a hidden danger that we need to bring into the light. But here's the good news. You have the power to protect your liver. It starts with knowledge. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain and expose the top 10 foods that could be secretly harming your liver. I'm not here to scare you, but to empower you. We'll break down the science in a way that's easy to understand and give you actionable, practical tips to make smarter choices for your long-term health. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to help safeguard your liver. So stay tuned, because what you're about to learn could be a lifesaver. Alright, let's start with the one most people are already familiar with. But its impact cannot be overstated. Alcohol. When you drink alcohol, your liver sees it as a toxin, and its primary job becomes metabolizing and clearing it from your system. It drops everything else to deal with this poison. If you only drink occasionally, your liver can usually handle this process without a problem. But when you drink frequently or excessively, you're putting your liver into a state of constant, high-alert stress. This relentless workload is where the real damage begins. The first stage of alcohol-related liver damage is often alcoholic fatty liver disease. The process of breaking down alcohol generates harmful byproducts, including an excess of fatty acids. These fats start to accumulate inside the liver cells, causing the organ to become enlarged and inflamed. The scary part is that this stage is often completely asymptomatic. You could be developing a fatty liver right now and have absolutely no idea. It's a silent warning sign that your liver is struggling to keep up with the demands you're placing on it. If the heavy drinking continues, that inflammation can progress to a more serious condition called alcoholic hepatitis. This isn't just a bit of inflammation, it's a severe and acute injury to the liver that can cause fever, jaundice, nausea, and abdominal pain. It's a medical emergency that signifies the liver cells are actively dying. From here, the path can lead to the final and often irreversible stage, cirrhosis. This is where healthy liver tissue is replaced by scar tissue, which doesn't function. This scarring chokes the liver, impairing its ability to do its hundreds of vital jobs, leading to liver failure. So, when we talk about alcohol, we're not just talking about hangovers. We're talking about a direct, scientifically proven pathway to devastating liver disease. The most important thing you can do is be honest about your consumption. The recommended guidelines are there for a reason, to minimize this risk. Limiting your intake, having alcohol-free days, and never binge drinking are not just suggestions. They are crucial steps in preserving the long-term health of this incredibly vital organ. It's the most well-known liver toxin for a reason. Now let's move from the bar to the fryer. We all love that satisfying crunch of fried chicken or French fries, but that crispy coating comes at a high cost to your liver. These foods are typically submerged in hot oil, causing them to soak up a massive amount of fat, particularly saturated and trans fats. When you eat these foods, that fat is transported to your liver for processing. An occasional serving isn't a catastrophe, but a diet high in fried foods forces your liver to work overtime, trying to manage this overwhelming influx of lipids. This constant bombardment of fat leads directly to the same condition we discussed with alcohol, but through a different pathway: non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or NAFLD. Your liver cells, which are not designed for long-term fat storage, begin to accumulate triglycerides. Think of it like trying to stuff too many clothes into a suitcase. Eventually the seams start to strain and tear. In the same way, these fat-laden liver cells become swollen and inflamed. This condition is now the most common cause of chronic liver disease in the Western world, and fried foods are a major contributor. Furthermore, the high heat used in deep frying can create other harmful compounds. When oils are heated to high temperatures, especially when they're reused as they often are in restaurants, they can oxidize and form trans fats, even if they started as healthier oils. These man-made fats are particularly inflammatory and are incredibly difficult for the body to process. They not only contribute to fat accumulation in the liver, but also promote systemic inflammation and increase your risk for heart disease. You're getting a double whammy of cellular damage. So, what's the alternative? It's not about giving up your favorite foods entirely, but about changing the preparation method. Instead of deep frying, consider baking, grilling, roasting, or air frying. These methods use significantly less oil, or in some cases, no oil at all. You can still get a delicious, satisfying meal without overloading your liver. Making this simple switch from frying to baking can dramatically reduce the amount of unhealthy fat you consume, giving your liver a much-needed break and lowering your risk of developing NAFLD. Next on our list are those convenient, prepackaged meats that fill our delis and refrigerators. Things like bacon, sausage, hot dogs, and deli slices. While they're a quick and easy source of protein, they are often loaded with ingredients that can be particularly harsh on your liver. The main culprits here are not just the high levels of saturated fat, but also the chemical preservatives used to extend their shelf life and maintain their color and flavor. Specifically, we're talking about compounds like nitrates and nitrites. When you consume nitrates, they can be converted in your body into nitrosamines, which are potent pro-inflammatory compounds. Studies have linked high consumption of these compounds to increased oxidative stress throughout the body. Your liver, as the body's primary detoxification center, bears the brunt of this stress. It has to work extra hard to neutralize and eliminate these chemicals. Over time, this chronic chemical exposure can contribute to liver inflammation and has been investigated for its potential link to more severe liver damage, including fibrosis and even liver cancer. It's not just the preservatives either. Processed meats are almost always incredibly high in sodium, which we'll discuss in more detail later, but also in saturated fats. A diet rich in these fats is a well-known driver of NAFLD, so when you eat processed meats, you're essentially hitting your liver with a triple threat: inflammatory chemical preservatives, excessive salt, and a heavy load of saturated fat. It's a combination that puts a significant, cumulative strain on the organ's ability to function properly. The healthy swap here is to opt for fresh, unprocessed cuts of meat whenever possible. Choose lean protein sources like fresh chicken breast, turkey, fish, or even plant-based proteins like lentils and beans. If you enjoy the flavor of cured meats, think of them as a rare treat rather than a daily staple. Reading labels is key. Look for products that are labeled nitrate-free or uncured, but even then, be mindful of the overall fat and sodium content. Prioritizing fresh, whole foods is one of the best things you can do to reduce your liver's toxic load. Let's talk about what you're drinking. That can of soda, fruit punch, or sweetened iced tea might seem like a harmless refreshment, but from your liver's perspective, it's a tidal wave of sugar. Specifically, these drinks are often sweetened with high fructose corn syrup. Unlike glucose, which can be used by cells all over your body for energy, fructose is metabolized almost exclusively by the liver. When you chug a sugary drink, you're sending a massive, concentrated dose of fructose straight to an organ that is simply not equipped to handle it all at once. Faced with this sudden overload, the liver has no choice but to convert the excess fructose into fat. This process is called de novo lipogenesis, which literally means making new fat. This newly created fat then begins to build up in and around the liver cells, directly contributing to the development and progression of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. In fact, studies have shown a direct correlation between higher consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages and a greater risk of NAFLD. You are, quite literally, drinking your way to a fatty liver. This process also triggers a dangerous cascade of other metabolic problems. The constant conversion of sugar to fat can lead to insulin resistance, a condition where your body's cells stop responding properly to the hormone insulin. This is a hallmark of prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. So, not only are you damaging your liver, but you're also setting the stage for a host of other chronic diseases. The sugar spike from these drinks puts your entire metabolic system under immense stress, with the liver at the epicenter of the crisis. The solution is simple, though not always easy. Ditch the sugary drinks. Water should be your primary beverage. If you find water boring, try infusing it with lemon, cucumber, or berries for a natural flavor boost. Unsweetened herbal tea and black coffee are also excellent liver-friendly alternatives. By eliminating these sources of liquid sugar from your diet, you immediately cut off a major pathway to fat accumulation in your liver. This single change can have a profound and positive impact on your liver health and your overall well-being. We've talked about liquid sugar, but what about solid sugar? That's essentially what refined carbohydrates are. I'm talking about foods like white bread, white rice, pasta, and most packaged pastries and cereals. These foods have been stripped of their fiber, bran, and essential nutrients during the milling process. While this gives them a softer texture and a longer shelf life, it also makes them incredibly easy for your body to break down. In fact, your digestive system converts them into sugar almost instantly. From your liver's point of view, eating a slice of white bread isn't much different from eating a spoonful of sugar. It causes a rapid spike in your blood glucose levels. Your pancreas then releases a surge of insulin to manage this sugar, and your liver is tasked with processing it. Just like with fructose, if there's more glucose than your body needs for immediate energy, the liver converts that excess into fat for storage. A diet consistently high in these refined grains keeps your liver in a constant state of fat production. This process is a key driver of both NAFLD and insulin resistance. The lack of fiber in these foods is a critical part of the problem. Fiber slows down the absorption of sugar, which prevents those dramatic blood sugar spikes and gives your liver more time to process everything. When you eat a whole grain, the fiber acts like a brake pedal on digestion. When you eat a refined grain, it's like flooring the accelerator, sending a rush of sugar that your liver has to scramble to deal with, often by turning it into fat. Making the switch to whole grains is a powerful move for your liver health. Instead of white bread, choose 100% whole wheat or whole grain bread. Swap white rice for brown rice, quinoa, or barley. Start your day with oatmeal instead of a sugary cereal. These whole grain alternatives are packed with fiber, which not only protects your liver but also helps you feel full longer, aids in digestion, and provides a steady release of energy. It's a simple substitution